Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I have a message for you which has been a long one in the making, and today I want to talk to all of us who can oftentimes be more connected, I'd say, to what we perceive those around us may want in terms of particularly our loved ones, right? And today I want to kind of help each and every one of us actually get to a place where we are reinforcing the fact of what is absolutely healthiest, most self-loving, best for us, most fulfilling for our future, all of the great stuff. We're actually seeing how aligning fully with those things are actually going to be the best things that we could actually have happen in our lives for the people who are closest to us. Now, that sounds all like, yeah, whatever, like of course that would be true, right? But in actual fact, what I want to talk to you guys about today is kind of this underlying subconscious thing that happens to a hell of a lot of us where we end up feeling as though we are much more connected and aligned with what we perceive others may want from us, and we see that on an unconscious level it's actually in conflict with what would be healthiest for us. All right, so what I want to talk to you guys about today is going to be kind of paradoxical, and it's going to hopefully help you to see how you being deeply connected to what's true for you and really having some processes and know-how as to really connect and align with what's true for you is always going to be the best decision that you could make for the people that you love the most, and also really the only thing that you want to be aligning with in your life if you want to be the kind of person who has really high quality relationships. So stay tuned for this one, particularly for those of you who are maybe in a current sphere of uncertainty like all of us, but maybe you are trying to make some decisions in your life and you're feeling maybe quite confused, maybe you're feeling quite disconnected from yourself, maybe you feel almost like this feeling like you might be kind of living a lie, right? Like you're out of alignment and you don't know what to do. Maybe on the surface you're wearing a smile, but maybe underneath you're feeling highly disconnected from yourself, right? I know this feeling deeply, right? And I've just gone through a new stage of this that I want to share with you guys. A pattern that I thought I'd shed many years ago has come back into the equation, and I want to share using myself as a bit of the guinea pig in the hope that you guys can fast track your success and your self-empowerment and create the quality of relationships in particular that you ultimately want, that enhance each other's lives, not diminish them. All right, so today is all about the paradox of the fact that the best decision that you could make for those that you love is the one that you fear is actually the worst. Now, what do I mean about this? This is something that really asks you to contemplate on a very deep level, and I can't wait to go through this conversation with you. I want to hear from you guys. Make sure you're dropping me some comments. Let me know where you're tuning in from around the world. Please do share this message if it's of value to you and you know people in your life who could benefit from, waking up to, hey, be in connection with your authentic self, align from the inside out, and don't sacrifice what is true and healthy for you for the people around you that you love and who love you, because you may be actually making the worst decision thinking that you're making the best. All right, so let's dive into it and unpack this. So I want to articulate this whole message through my own personal story for you guys, and then unpack it a little more and hope that it hits you in the heart and hope that you can see yourself in this. But basically, I have been, we've all been dealing with very uncertain times, right? The whole world, no matter how much we've created a life that we feel we're in control of, we're in a global pandemic. There's lots of different rules, regulations that are out of our hands in terms of, deciding the course of our lives right now. And if you're anything like me, you like to be in control and directing your own life, right? And so this year has kind of thrown that out the window, you know, and even some realizations for myself. You know, I've been running my own business for the past 7 years, right? Nearly coming on to 8 years. And I haven't worked in a corporate arena, you know, since for actually 10 years this year. It just clocked over. It was 10 years ago, just about a week ago for me, where I left my last real corporate position, right? So I felt pretty in control of my life, right? I get to decide what I'm doing with my life, where I work, who I connect with, who my clients are, you know, where I get to be in the world. And as you guys are experiencing alongside of me, all of that kind of gets thrown out the window when we have something like a global pandemic that's currently happening. And a lot of shifts and changes have happened for me in my personal life this year in particular. You know, I've left relationships, I've started a new relationship, and that's very up in the air because my partner actually lives in the US. And so he's in the US, I'm in Australia. There's all these different, how do we get together, all these different pieces of the puzzle. And then what I'd actually found, and you guys have heard me over my last few messages, my health has been like really up and down this year, albeit that I am somebody who puts a really high priority on my health. I try and do the best that I possibly can in this arena. And it was really confusing to me that I was having all these ups and downs in my health and trying to find what is causing it. And of course, you know me and the conversations that we have here, I'm not going to just think that it's all a physical thing. I definitely know the mind-body connection, and I've experienced it over the years to the point where I've made a realization that sometimes I feel my misalignment within myself in my physical body responses before I get to the psychological reasons. All right, and that might be true for you guys as well. But basically, I've gone on a whole kind of taking different angles on why I'm having these different health challenges right now. And I think the biggest key to them for me is that it's all been really what's going on underneath, and this same old pattern that I felt like I completely transcended, right? Like how we always do when we go through a massive stage of growth, we kind of go, done with that one, I got that one out the window, let's bring on the new, right? And oftentimes what happens is we may have transcended to a new level of the challenge of that pattern, but we might not have fully transcended it in total, in reality, all right? And so it's kind of like why I talk about a spiraling up, right, in our growth. It's not just a, yep, learnt that lesson, chuck it out, never have to face that again. It's no, you've spiraled up to a new level, like a new level of consciousness, awareness around this pattern. And I'd fallen back into the trap of, again, like, disconnecting unconsciously from what was true and what I wanted and what felt right to me to, oh my gosh, I'm so conscious of all the people around me, all the people I care about the most, who I love and they love me. And what do all they want? And so I've got all these multitude of different voices going on, right? I don't know if you can relate to this. And what happens is it puts you in this kind of dark cloud of inner confusion, right? And it's like this very disconnected self, right? And you're almost getting to this place where you're going along on the outside with what's, what everybody wants, or you feel like there's nothing wrong, until you get more and more disconnected from self, and it's almost like you're in this darker and darker, heavier cloud of confusion. And then what happens from my own personal experience and when I work with other people on this is the number one question to ask yourself when you feel like you're in a dark cloud of confusion, because my belief is that, and my definition of confusion is really when our overthinking mind is trying to outbattle our internal wisdom. And you can think of the overthinking mind as, I'm so connected to everybody else's perceptions of what's going on for them and what they may want or what their judgments or opinions are, that now I'm so confused and disconnected from my inner wisdom, right? My truth, right? My authenticity. And even if you've got best intentions, right? So the number one question to ask yourself when you feel like you're stuck in that cloud of confusion and maybe you're more connected to what everybody else wants from you than you are from that internal truth is this: what truths am I currently not speaking? Am I currently afraid to address? And what you might find if you give yourself the time to actually ask yourself that question and answer honestly and directly and frankly for yourself is that you will discover the missing link between you out here and that connection to yourself in here, right? And so anytime we have a disconnect between what's authentically true for us and what we're creating and what we're co-creating in our external world, we're going to be in a big state of confusion, disconnect from self, kind of flightiness, kind of, we're saying one thing, doing another, jumping from this place to the other, all that sort of, overwhelm that we experience, right? It's because we're disconnected from that internal truth and we're trying to live to those expectations of the world around us. And we might not even know it, but you can oftentimes, like myself, see it and feel it in your own physical body before you might be able to identify the psychological cause, all right? And so no matter where you feel it first, right, in the psychology of it or in the feelings or the body symptoms that you may get, the point is to wake up and ask yourself the question, what truths am I currently not speaking? Am I too afraid to address? Right? And see just allow that to come forth. Don't filter it. Just brain dump it out for yourself. And then when you do that, there's a series of questions. Now I'm going to articulate all of these that I'm going to share with you right now in a post that I'm going to put out for you guys tomorrow. So you'll have it all in front of you to revisit what we're talking about today and actually hopefully apply it to your life, right? But another question you can ask once you've brain dumped all the truths that you're holding back from is asking yourself, what do I fear I will lose as a result of aligning my external world with these truths that I'm addressing from within? What do you think you're going to lose, right? Like, for instance, maybe a truth that you're not speaking is in relation to a decision that you've got to make, right? Like maybe people in your outside world want you to make a decision. Just hurry up. Maybe they're impatient. Maybe they need you to give them a yes right now, but you haven't taken time to address it, right? And so you're feeling that state of confusion and anxiety, right? Because you want to give them what they want because you care about them, but innately, you're disconnected from your truth, right? It's not in alignment. And so what do? You're at a point here where you're like, your fear-driven self feels like you have to sacrifice something. You have to either sacrifice what they want or you have to sacrifice what's true for you. And oftentimes a lot of us, we want to give other people what they want at the expense of who we are and what's true for us. And we think that's going to be the best decision that we could make for them. But what we're talking about today is the actual paradox, because anytime you make a decision that is not true for who you are, but you think is what other people want for you, in the long run, that is going to cost you and it's going to cost them. It's going to cost the potential connection and intimacy and truth and authentic connection that you could have because you are not being who you are. You're not contributing your truths to the equation. So that person that you feel like you're trying to make the best decisions for, what you're actually doing is you're jeopardizing the connection. You're sacrificing the relationship that you truly could have with this person. And unbeknownst to them, they're in relationship with a falsity, right? They're in relationship with a false identity that you're aligning with in order to keep the peace, in order to give them what you want, in order to not disappoint them. The list goes on and on. But at the end of the day, that's the most lonely place, not only for you, right? Because you're not being who you are, you're not sharing who you are, but also for them. Because who are they actually in relationship with, right? Just something you're putting together and, flinging it together. In the long run, the truth always comes out, right? Your inner truth is going to always have to come out eventually. And do you want it to come out way down the timeline where you feel like you've been a falsity of who you are? You're so disconnected from yourself, and this other person or the people that you're in relationship with in your external world feel lied to, feel manipulated, feel like they don't even know who the hell they've been in relationship with, right? That's no pathway, right? I'm always saying that you can either, take the easy path in the short term, but it's always going to become the hardest path in the long term. So I would rather, and I hope you guys would as well, take the hardest path in the short term, which is to align courageously by speaking your truths, no matter how uncomfortable, no matter what the responses you get from the external world, right? I'd rather take that hard, short path, right? Because I know from personal experience that it always becomes the easiest path in the long term. Right? Because you repel people who aren't aligned with you. You attract those who are totally in alignment with the truth of who you are. You actually feel in relationship and connection and love because you're sharing of your authentic self. And you have a really strong trust and belief within yourself because you did the courageous thing. You built the connection within. You understood clearly what's true for you. And you aligned your external world in alignment with that internal truth and authenticity so that you could actually establish authentic connections with your external world and create a life that is actually authentic to you and not molded to the multitude of perceptions and your perception of their expectations on you, or judgments, opinions, all the rest of it. Because that is a very lonely path, not only for you, like I said, but also those who you create relationships with that you're not contributing yourself to. All right, so that's what I really wanted to just touch on with you guys as well. And I really wanted to leave you with this as well, because I've gone through these experiences, and the most challenging experiences that I've ever had in my life have been the ones that land me in this same position, where I'm in a state of confusion. I'm all these judgments and opinions and the perceptions of the people that I love, and I know them clearly, and I have ventured into or leaned into those judgments and opinions and expectations, and all the perceptions going on in my overthinking mind become more important to me than my own internal wisdom. And the moment I make that realization, and like I said, usually, unfortunately, I have to get hit with the truck a little bit in my physical health to realize, oh my gosh, have I been doing it again? Have I been disconnecting from what's true for me because I'm more connected to everybody else's wants and desires, and particularly the people that love me and I love them? And I've got myself in this state of confusion. Every time I've realized that, and I've gotten clear on what is my truth, and then I've courageously aligned my external world with that internal truth by voicing that with compassion and love, and had the courage to receive whatever, retaliations I get from those people that I care and love from my external world. And oftentimes they've been my biggest fear, right? That I haven't wanted to deal with. But because the moment you align with that truth within is the moment you become the person who has the level of courage and connection to yourself that remains unshakable from the words and actions from those external sources that might be those fearful reactions that you fear, right, of receiving. But the moment you're courageously aligned, you can take it. Doesn't feel that great, but you can take it. And because you've just showed yourself that you can take it, and that you listen to yourself and you align with what's best for you and what's healthiest for you and the kind of person that you want to be, now all of a sudden you've not only set yourself up to win in those external relationships, to set them a foundation of real authenticity and possibility of depth of connection and intimacy, but you've also just established such a trusting, self-believing, courageous relationship that you have with yourself. And if you don't have self-trust, you got nothing. If you don't believe in yourself, if you can't trust yourself, if you don't treat yourself in a self-loving way, Doesn't matter what you're doing for those people external to you. You're always going to have that calling within, right? That's like, there's something more to experience, to give, to contribute, to love. You're missing out on all of this depth. You'll know it in your bones, even if it's behind a smile in your external world, right? So know this. And know that, yes, it's terrifying and scary to own what's true for you, particularly when you innately know it's in conflict with those that you love outside of you the most. Just know that that is the pathway to actually being able to give those people that you love the most what is best for them, which is a healthy version of you and all of you being given without a holding back. All right, so that's my message for you guys today. I hope it aligns with you. I hope it resonates with you. I hope that you're going to be asking yourself those questions and really being in connection where when you are, stuck in a state of confusion, your overthinking mind trying to outbattle your internal wisdom, right? Just remember that and ask yourself that question every time you find yourself in that position. What truths am I currently not speaking, not addressing? Maybe I'm afraid that if I bring them out to the surface, I'm going to lose something, right? Really get clear on that with you and establish that connection with your own intuition. It is the greatest ally, on the pathway to create your most fulfilling life, your most fulfilling relationships. All right. So can't wait to check in with you guys. And if this has been of value, please do share it. That's such a gift that you guys can give to me either publicly or privately, however you choose to do it. But share it with your loved ones. And I hope that it helps some other people as well. And I definitely want to check in with you guys. So drop me a comment. Let me know where in the world you're tuning in from. And if you've got any questions or comments or words of wisdom that you want to contribute to the conversation, I absolutely love hearing from you guys and having you co-create this space. So I have got Bill in the house and Charlie and Jose and Carlos, and hello to you, Bill. Merry Christmas to you. And Carlos, much love. And Babik is here. And Jose from the USA. Love having you here. And Daryl and Alkaline and Julie, and Daryl's from the Great White North. Always great to see you, my friend. And Digo's here, and Babik is from Canada. That's awesome. And Ellen and Elkine, hope you got the message today. What is it? Paradoxically, the best decision you could make for those you love is the one you fear is the worst. I hope that really came through in what I shared with you guys today. Love it. And Joe's here, and Than, and Ellen is from Calgary, beautiful part of the world. And Stephen's here, and Ellen, and Jitu, and Missy, and Manish and Leah and Judy and Con and Dr. Ahmed and SK and Zor and John. Hello, Vanessa. Up late here. We'll catch replay on this. Awesome, John. Great to see you, my friend. And Graham's here and Nai and Alkaline. You are right. I'm grateful that this resonated with you. And Michael's here and Tyler and Graham. Hi, Vanessa. Interesting point. Thanks from the UK. Great that you found something interesting here, Graham, and always great to see you, my friend. Hope you're keeping well. And Alkaline is from Libya. Awesome to have you. I love how diverse our group is. And I really hope today's message has really rung true for you and just got you thinking, the next time, whether you're there or the next time it happens, if you're somebody who considers yourself, somebody who wants to do well by the people that you love most, right? Then oftentimes you might find yourself falling into that trap of confusion when you get more connected to what those people that you love want or what you perceive is valuable to them, and your internal wisdom is kind of getting drowned out by that. So the call from confusion is to realize it's your overthinking mind trying to outbattle your internal wisdom, and the goal is to reconnect with that internal wisdom by addressing yourself with a question of what truths am I currently not speaking about and aligning with, right? And then again, asking yourself, what do I fear I'm going to lose as a result of aligning with my truth, right? A bunch of other questions that I'm going to share with you guys in a post that I will put out for you guys tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. That's kind of how I'm rolling with some of these messages, because For me, I love learning, like I'm sure you guys who watch these messages do, but learning is nothing unless you have a process of applying it to your life, right? And actually gleaning the value from it. And so that's why I've kind of started doing this a little bit more for you guys, which is to deliver a message and then follow it up with a bit of a deeper dive post with some ways that you can apply these messages to your life so that it's actually of value to you, right? It's always fun to listen to things, but like if you can actually apply it, like that's my aim for you guys, is to actually get real value that you can apply to your life. So I will put that post out for you guys tomorrow. I hope it's of value. And also we've got Dua from Buenos Aires. Good to see you, my friend. And Bill, shine on, you got it. I love it. Thank you, Bill. Much love to you. And Nicole's here and Quinn as well. You guys who are just joining now, I hope you catch a recording, get a ton of value from today's message. And I want to leave you also with my message as always, which is to honor your authenticity, right? That's what we're really talking about today. We're also talking about deepening your intimacy. You can't deepen your intimacy and depth and connection with others and that real sense of love if you're not honoring what's authentic to you, right? There's a process to it. And ultimately, what that allows you to do when you're honoring your authenticity, you're deepening your intimacy and your connections, it allows you to become the kind of person who can overflow out into the world and actually contribute your gifts meaningfully and purposefully. All right. And to me, that's what life is all about. Honor your authenticity, deepen your intimacy, and contribute meaningfully and purposefully. All right. You're born for a reason, and that's the pathway to get there, to discover what that is, and make sure that you're living your most fulfilled life. All right. At least from my perspective and my experience. All right. And Joshy is here as well. I hope you catch a recording, my friend. And so much love for each and every one of you guys for joining today. You are so appreciated. I appreciate your comments, your words of wisdom, any questions that you might have. I hope you'll apply what we're talking about today, and stay tuned for tomorrow's message, just a post I'm going to put out that dives a bit deeper, gives you some good questions to really apply this to your life. And like I said before, please do share it if it's of value. So much love for you guys, and I will see you soon.